Christian, you've been waiting for permission to write. Maybe you've been waiting for a sign. Maybe you've been waiting for someone to tell you that you're good enough. Maybe you've been waiting for the right moment or the right platform before you even pick up a pen. But the only one that could give you permission to write already has. He gave it to you before anyone knew your name, before you had followers, before you had confidence, before you even had words. Ephesians 2:10 says, "For you are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, that he prepared in advance for you to do." Writing isn't about being seen, it's about being sent. Writing isn't about being famous, it's about being faithful. This is the author's altar, where we lay it down. We lay down the fear, the perfectionism, the permission, because writing is worship, and worship always starts with surrender. So if you've been waiting for someone to tell you that it's time to write, here it is. Not because I say so, but because heaven already did. Welcome to the author's altar. All right, let's start addressing the fear, right? That's the reason why we just don't get started in the first place. Like, we're just afraid. We're afraid that we're not going to be good enough as writers. We're afraid that no one is going to read what we write. We're afraid that our friends and family are going to laugh at us. We're afraid that we're going to get it wrong, that we're going to write something and it's not going to be quite right. And now we're going to have to be faced with the criticisms and the critiques that will most definitely be coming. And so in that fear, we just remain trapped. We don't do anything. Well, Proverbs 29:5 says, "The fear of man lays a snare, but whoever trusts in the Lord is safe." Man, this is the time when you have got to trust in God. I didn't, so don't be me. For the first several years, when God was calling me into, a writing ministry, I fought it. I fought it tooth and nail. And one of the ways that I fought it is I went to the other Christian leaders that I had around me, and I tried to get permission. I said, "Hey, would you read my writing? Hey, can we do this? Can we do that?" Right? I was seeking for their confirmation. I wanted them to tell me that I was good enough, because then I could have the confidence to do the thing that God had called me to do. And I'm going to say that again. God, the creator of the universe, the one that knit me in the womb, that designed me specifically for his purpose. Yeah, that God told me, "I need you to write, right? I'm giving you this gift. I need you to use it for my kingdom and for my glory." And I said, "Hold on, God, let me go ask man." Right? But we're all doing that. And so, my sweet friend, the first thing that you need to do is you need to address that permission that you're seeking. It's bound up in that first lie that we have to deal with, which is that you are not good enough. Listen, if God called you, you are good enough. Noah built an ark when there was no such thing as boats, right? God equips you, I promise, if he has called you to do something. And so stop letting fear keep you from stepping out in obedience, from stepping out in your worship. If God has called you, then God has called you. Get out that pen and start writing. The truth is, writing is worship. And I wish I had known that years ago. I wish that I had had that perspective, that it wasn't about the number of likes that I got, or the comments, or, people telling me that they approved of what I was doing. I wish I had the perspective that it's not about performance. It's not about platform. It's about laying it down at the altar. It is about worshiping God. Romans 12:1 says, "Therefore I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship." What if, instead of worrying about who's going to read your writing, what if you just sat down to meet with God, right? What if we took that opportunity again, instead of making sure that we're going to get enough, clicks and shares? What if it was just about sacrificing your time and sacrificing your heart and just having that moment of worship with God, right? God is wherever you meet with him, even at the blank page. And so what if your blank page writer, Christian writer, what if your blank page became the altar in which you laid it down for your God. Man, what a difference that writing would be. What a powerhouse that writing would be, right? That writing would not only change your heart and your spirit and give you an opportunity to meet God when he's desperate to meet with you, but I've got to imagine the power and the worth of the words that would come out on that page, right? Those would also, once they got out there, change hearts. And that's what it's all about. And so writing is worship. Shift your perspective. Stop worrying about who's going to read it, and just think of your page as the altar that you get to meet God. All right, you've been waiting for permission. Heaven already gave it. The question is, are you ready to obey it? Let's go old school, Old Testament. Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision, make it plain on tablets, so he may run who reads it. Look, God needs writers. And if he has called you, he's called you. Get out there and start writing. The truth is, whether it impacts one heart or whether your writing impacts a community or a generation, it doesn't really matter. God's called you to do a thing. We get so hyper focused on, man, I've got to reach 10,000 people in order for my writing to be good enough. But what if God says, I just need you to write for this one person? Jesus died for them. They're worth all that I have. And that's who your writing is for. This is what you need to ask yourself, is that good enough? Every single time, I get to make a video or I get to sit down and write something, right? My heart is, God, if this helps one person, that's all that matters to me. Take that same energy into your writing and get out there and start doing it today. Because what you write can make others run to God. So you write, and then let God put your writing in the hands of those who will run after him too. So if this video hit a nerve with you, if you've been feeling that tug of calling, man, I hope you hit subscribe and like the channel. We put out new videos about this sort of messaging on Mondays. Thursdays, I still do my full ministry page, so that's where I talk about different topics. Right now, we're really kind of exploring church hurt. But Mondays are for the author's altar. That's where we're laying it down. So if that's something that would interest you, again, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to ring that bell. It is my passion and goal, right, to get Christians to start stepping into their calling. We are needed, right? The harvest is plentiful. What we lack is the laborers. And so if all of us Christians would just give into that tug in our heart, man, we would make heaven crowded. And that is the goal. That is the absolute goal. So hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to ring that bell, and come back next Monday. We'll have a ton of new stuff. I am working on some different things, again, to meet the authors right where we're at, because I was there and I'm still there. And so we need each other. And so I'm hoping to build a community of other Christian writers who are also stepping into answering that call. So if that sounds like you, man, come back next Monday and I will see you then.